Gregory Keene turns the next page of the Dossier on Dumetrius.
In desperation, I went to see Margaret Ridgway. Colonel Fentress had taken charge of Dr. Rudolph Bookman and Haydee. They were both being held for questioning at the embankment, and Fentress was convinced that Haydee was the person who'd warned Dumetrius the night we'd made our raid on the sanatorium. I had to face the fact that someone had, and there were only 4 people in the world who knew that Cutts and I were on our way to Hampstead Heath. We two, Eustace Mannerly the informer, and Haydee herself. But Haydee hadn't used her telephone or left her block of flats after I'd told her what was happening that night, so I had to take my choice between Cutts and Eustace Mannerly. Or so I thought. But to return to Margaret Ridgway, I was certain the Gestapo loot was hidden at the sanatorium somewhere. I won't go through the reasons, but I was completely on my own. So, as I said, I asked Margaret to dig up her brother Peter, Digby Mitchell, and Paul Bonnet. I remember that night. It wasn't very long ago. I was in my flat at Mount Street, going over and over the dossier, hunting for the essential fact I'd missed, trying to solve the riddle of Karl Scammell, Dumetrius, and Otto Schmidt, the murdered German clerk. Then there was someone at my door.
Hi, Keene. Wouldn't happen to have a drink for 3 old soldiers, would you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I would. So you turned up, eh? Good on you. Ridgway, Mitchell, and Bonnet. Comment ça va, Bonnet?
Oh, comme si, comme ça.
Let's get inside. You're looking fit, Ridgway.
Feeling it, too. Margaret tells me you've managed to get yourself completely fouled up, old boy.
That's an understatement. Oh, look here, the 3 of you. There's no sense in fooling about. Help yourselves to the whiskey there on the sideboard. In a way, I expect it's rather decent of you to show up here at all.
No, I wouldn't say that. I've a score to settle with this character Dumetrius myself. So's Bonnet. Digby here is coming along for the ride.
How's the dinks? Where's Mr. Duff?
Oh, there's a new one in the thing there. Well, I suppose you'd like to hear the score.
Might be an idea, Keene.
Margaret passed along most of it, did she?
All you told her.
Right. Well, here's the position at Bookman's sanatorium. Bookman's being held in connection with the killing of Max Rubenstein at the quarry in Norfolk. That means his place will be closed up and all the patients moved out within a week.
Where do we come in?
The loot is still at the sanatorium.
That means Dumetrius will be back for it?
And I want to be there when he returns.
Unofficially?
Unofficially.
With we 3 in the background?
Well, that was the general idea.
But how the deuce could Dumetrius or any of his gang possibly go back there?
They'd come to the sanatorium if we made it easy for them.
Oh, that shouldn't be any trouble at all.
I think I know how it could be done.
How?
By making Colonel Fentress and MI5 believe that Dumetrius has left the country with his Gestapo loot.
Now listen, Keene, you're sticking your neck out too far.
I've nothing to lose, old man. And I'm going to take Dumetrius, dead or alive. I don't care how I go about it or what it costs. You can come in with me on this thing, or you can declare yourselves out here and now. No regrets, nothing more to be said. Which is it to be? Oh, just a minute. Hello, Gregory Keene here. Oh, yes, Cutts. Yes. Any strings to it, do you think? All right, thanks.
Anything for us?
Fentress just released Haydee.
Oh.
Well, what about it? Do we go ahead with this thing, the 3 of us, or do I carry on myself?
Well, that's rather a fat-headed question, Keene. Of course we're in. Let's hear exactly how you're going to pull it off.
Well, first of all, I'm calling in a friend of mine, an ex-RAF type who runs a charter service from a little aerodrome in Wales, Blackwood Common near Swansea. It used to be a Spitfire station. Now, this cove owes me a good turn or 2. I pulled him out a hole in France in 1944. He'll do this like a shot. And if it sounds too utterly fantastic, remember it's the completely audacious stunt that often brings home the bacon.
A dry martini, please. You can eat the olive yourself.
Yes, miss. Dry martini coming up, miss.
I'm full out as usual, but I have to risk it. Surely I can use a phone safely in a place like this.
There we are.
Oh, thanks. Is there a phone about I can use?
Behind the curtains, at your left, miss.
Look after my drink, will you?
Yes?
Heidi,
Where are you?
a downstairs bar in Jermyn Street.
Is it difficult?
Fentress released me 10 minutes ago, but I'm followed. He's here in the bar now. There was nothing they could do but ask me about you. Where was Dumetrius? How had I warned you? They went backwards and forwards, over and over the same thing since I stepped on the plane at Tempelhof.
You gave them nothing.
Only tears. But it can't go on. They couldn't hold me, but Fentress knows.
You're sure of that?
He asked me had I ever known Carl Skemmel. Do you hear me? He asked me if I'd ever known Carl...
Yes, I heard you. This telephone call,
I'll phone Keane in a moment to account for it.
you have to be withdrawn. I have to get you to the ship.
How?
I'll get the Poles to work on it. It'll take a good deal of organizing. At the moment, I have to talk to you at length.
Well, I can't stay on the phone here.
How long can you stay in that bar?
As long as I want to.
What does the watch say?
25 minutes to 9.
25 to 9. At 9:15, leave the bar and go upstairs to Jermyn Street. A cab will draw up as you emerge into the street.
But I'll be followed.
I'll be driving the cab to a matter. If there's any hitch, if by any mischance you get into the wrong cab, drive straight to Keane's place and see what you can find out about the sanatorium.
Yes. 9:15. Rubinstein gone, Mazzotti gone, Bookman under arrest. And Colonel Fentress knows about me. I can't stay in the open much longer. I just can't.
But good Lord, Keane, if you miss Dumetrius after this stunt, they'll tear you limb from limb.
Do you think I don't know that?
You're going to take the pressure off the sanatorium, lead Fentress to believe the whole affair's over and Dumetrius has escaped with the loot, and then wait at the sanatorium for him to show up.
Have you any better ideas, Ridgway?
Confound it all, you're taking this colossal gamble purely on the supposition that the loot still is hidden at Bookman's place.
Listen, they wouldn't have killed Rubinstein unless they had their hands on the loot. The sanatorium was their headquarters, so that's where the loot would be. Hang it, man, it's worth £1 million in sterling, dollars and gems. You could get it in a cabin trunk. So do you suggest they'd leave it lying about just anywhere? Where they were, that's where the loot was too.
But look here, Keane, it's too much. Why shouldn't they have taken it when they shoved off?
Time, the small car they used, and the fact that Bookman didn't go too.
Yes, of course. That's really something. And the fact that... yes, now I see why you're so sure.
And the fact that what?
None of my ideas have been changed, Keane. The fact that they didn't take Haiti.
When we get Dumetrius, old man, you're going to look a thundering fool, and you're going to eat every word you've ever said about that girl.
When we get Dumetrius, Keane, and when you show me I'm wrong, I shall be glad to.
Well, it looks as though we'd better get going. Haven't all the time in the world. First thing, let's get hold of the raft chap at Blackwood Common. We can't make a move without him. And while you're doing all the work at the sideboard, Mitchell, what about a noggin for me?
$9.15. Where is it? This one? No. A taxi?
All right, Haiti?
Yes.
What's behind you? Is there a cab following?
Just a minute. Yes.
We have to communicate freely in the next few days. Now, what about the dressmaker of yours?
No. And Margaret Ridgway spent too much time hunting about there.
The fellow across the corridor from the flat.
No. Too often he can do, and... Well, you may have heard my own telephone ringing.
If something has to be done, I may need you at any time in the next few days at a moment's notice. When the moment comes, we'll want to get you to the boat with our timing worked out to an instant.
But our chances are running out. Fentress, he may have men in Berlin now, finding the connection between me and...
We're still in control, Haiti. Keane's discredited. I'll never learn about the ship, and I'll never find the loot at the sanatorium.
But how are you ever going to get it away from there now? They're holding Bookman without bail. Fentress told...
So much the better. Bookman can't talk. If he does, it's the hangman for him. We're all in the same boat.
Don't say that. The thought makes my blood run cold.
Listen to me, Haiti. We can get in and out of the sanatorium without much trouble. Lottie's arranging for an ambulance, and we'll drive straight in as doctor and orderly to take away a patient. We'll attend to all details, don't worry about that. But I must have you at my fingertips.
Well, there's only one thing. And it would be putting my head into the lion's mouth.
Yes, I thought of it too. Could you do it?
You thought of it too? What?
Well, you're supposed to be afraid, lonely, and idle. Why don't you ask Keene if you can spend most of your time at his flat? No one could object to being telephoned there. And in Keene's absence, you can get in touch with me whenever you like.
Do you think I could? Possibly.
I see no reason why not. And since we're agreed that Major Keene's the ideal individual to solve our difficulties for us, why shouldn't I drive you to him now? You know, Haydee, it's really rather amusing. What a pity we'll have to dispose of the fellow if he insists on pressing us too hard. And how easy it'll be with you in his flat. Yes, I think we'll do that. The last final touch before we leave this country. We'll let Yachty say our goodbyes to Major Gregory Keene.
But while Dumetrius was making his arrangements to pay his last visit to Bookman Sanatorium, I was on my way to Blackwood Common in Wales. It was a long shot and a desperate one, but like so many long shots, it came off. And something else came off too very soon, and I had my first good look at Haydee Bergner. I couldn't be blind forever.
The trap for Dumetrius is baited and sprung in the next chapter of this story of suspense. Dossier on Dumetrius.